Successful manifestation revolves around feelings, as if you already possess the wealth you desire. By holding and embodying this vibration of abundance, you naturally attract similar energies and opportunities. Intention and clarity are pivotal in manifesting financial goals. Clearly defining your aspirations and planned actions creates a focused path for your desires to materialize. It's not just about setting goals, but actively pursuing them with precision. Visualization is a potent manifestation tool. Envisioning your financial success not only inspires, but also aligns your energy with wealth and achievement. Manifestation transcends financial gains, applicable to all areas of life, from relationships to career advancements. The foundational principle is like attracts like. Emitting positive, abundant energy attracts similar experiences and opportunities. Finding practical techniques to attract financial wealth through manifestation is about transforming your financial outlook and achieving goals by aligning thoughts, emotions, and actions with the abundance you seek. This journey fosters a transformational shift towards prosperity and success. Cliff, share with everybody how you manifested your appearance on this podcast today and how we can develop habits in our daily lives.
Well, I was talking about the fact that I was sitting here in my office thinking, okay, it's January. I'm looking for a new stream of potential clients to kind of roll in, looking for opportunities to get in front of new people who may have never heard of me before. And the thought occurred to me, you know what? One of the things that I could do is make sure to reach out to some people in my network. And it'd be nice if I had an opportunity to be a guest on other people's podcasts and live streams where they've already built an audience. And if they bring me on, it automatically shows that there's some level of trust of who I am. And I can show up and just be myself and maybe reach some new people. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to write that down as something that I'm going to work on over the next 2 or 3 weeks. As soon as I wrote that down, Andy, your email came in and it was like, hey, Cliff, we would like to have you on the show. I know it's last minute, but here's what the show is about. And I'm like, would you like to be? And I'm like, instantly, yes, let's make this happen. It was right there at that moment. What I'd love to share is just one other system of manifestation, just to give you an idea. This is back in the day where I was just introduced to this idea of just putting faith in what at the time for me, the language, just putting my faith in God, trusting in providence, just trusting in abundance. And I had just had 3 months in a row where every single month I had achieved way more income than I ever dreamed possible. But this was after a season of not doing so hot financially because of my old style limiting beliefs and money mindset at the time. So my wife comes to me and she's like, "Hey, you've been doing incredibly well. Can you write a paycheck for twice the amount of what it would normally be?" And I said, "Well, that would be like $12,000 and overall." And I just like, she goes, "Well, didn't you say there's a lot extra in the bank account?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, hey, we've sacrificed for a while. Just go ahead and write the 12,000. The money's there." I'm like, "Well, I'd really like it." And I was suffering right there, wanting to hold on to that old money mindset, that old scarcity mindset. I'd like to hold a buffer of this extra income just in case this starts to slow down. And so I convinced her to write a check that was more than we normally do for our paycheck, but certainly not the amount that was available in which she was requested. And she wrote it and she was about ready to leave. And I said, "Wait a second." And I felt this voice within that says, "Write the check for the full amount. Write the check for 12,000." Or it was more. It was 12,000 is what it would have been after the taxes. But she says, "Right." The voice within says, "Write the check for the full amount." And then the next phrase came into my. It's not wasn't an audible voice, but it was as clear as if you guys said something to me audibly. The next phrase that came in, "There's more where that came from." And I'm like, "Stephanie, void that check, write it for the full amount." And she goes, "Why?" I said, "I just feel internally that I'm supposed to do this, and there's more where that comes from." So she does all of that. She's on the way out the door. She's left, and as far as I know, she's off to make the deposit and do all of her errands. And 5 minutes later, my wife comes right back into the door. And she says, "You're not going to believe this." And she's holding a white envelope that she's obviously opened. She says, "You are not going to believe what's inside this envelope." And she had this look of like, I can't even describe the look, only to tell you that my mind at the time is like the only thing I could think of to put that look on my wife's face and to have her ask the question, "You're not going to believe what's in this envelope." The only thing my thought went to is, oh my gosh, did a female listener send a picture of herself nude to me in the mail? So I wanted to set that. This is the image of what's going on. And instead, if you go to, by the way, if you go to mindsetanswerman.com/check, mindsetanswerman.com/check, you will see what was in the envelope. It was a letter and a check for $12,000, the exact amount that we needed to fulfill my wife's desire to have that, was in the mailbox the entire time. And that voice within that says, "Go ahead and write it. I promise you there's more where that came from." And it was instantly right there. So, and by the way, this is one of at least 50 stories, 100 stories that I could point to of instant manifestation.
James, how does the accountant explain something like that happening?
Well, it's like Cliff, it's a biblical-based principle. You reap what it is that you sow. I mean, my life changed when I learned how to tithe. And I never thought I'd be able to do that, and I've been doing that now for 35 plus years. So, and there's something to be said for the action plans and the intentions. I mean, even in my own life, God, I started saving for college for my kids in 1989. My first kid wasn't born until 1996. so there's certainly planning and intention involved. But I also believe it's having the vision, envisioning yourself, seeing yourself there. I'm in marketing because as an auditor, one of my clients was a branding company called Siegel and Gale, and I remember I was the accountant sitting in a cubicle in a three-piece suit, but looking around and saying to myself, I can see myself in a place like this. This is a pretty cool environment. I could see myself really prospering in an environment like this. And it was really that vision. I didn't make it directly there after the accounting. I went to Wall Street, but it was envisioning myself in that environment that I really, saw, and that led to a 30-plus year career from public relations to branding to general market advertising to mobile media to now the social digital world that I'm here with Gary.
Let's move on to segment 4.